and welcome to a very quick review on the new series of Top Gear Season 24, which aired tonight on BBC Two. And this is the one with Matt LeBlanc, Rory Reid and Chris Harris at the helm. No Chris Evans and no, obviously, Clarkson, Hammond or May, because they are on the Grand Tour. So, what do we think of this first new episode? Well, a great new opening, I thought. Fantastic opening. Very simple. Kept the original tune, which was great. And I love the new studio. I like how they've got the Ferrari 512 Testarossa and the Lamborghini Countach and the Porsche 911 up on the plinths around the studio. I think they look quite nice. It is a very nice looking, clean, fresh studio. Very good work there. The opening montage was very much like the trailers that have been banded around the internet, with a few more things added in. So what's Matt LeBlanc like at the helm? Well, he's a little bit stuck in that I'm an actor mode, but let's face it, he's 100 times better than Chris Evans. Sorry, you just are. Or he just is. Chris Harris, I think, was showing his very natural presenting ability, and Rory Reid just came in there with his trying too hard thing that he usually does. Sorry. So, the first bit they did with the Ferrari FXXK. Now, again, a great piece. It's a fantastic looking car. It really is epic looking. But at the end of the day, it's a bit pointless, and we're not going to go too much into that, to be honest, because they covered it quite well on the programme. Yes, it is a pointless car. Why would you pay £2 million for a car that you are going to take to the track completely unroadworthy and just razz around on your own for the day? It seems a bit of a waste of money, but there you go. If you've got money to burn, then, you know, whatever. But the camera work they used, I think, was very, very good, and BBC seemed to have stepped up their game as far as the camera work is concerned. And yeah, I haven't got anything really bad to say about that, apart from the car itself, pointless. But other than that, the piece they did was good. And Chris Harris again showing his fantastic ability to drive. There is one thing that bothered me a little bit about that piece, and that was at the end. And it seemed that Chris Harris was cut off, or they cut off half his sentence, because he said the sentence, "When the world's electricity." Now, I thought he was going to carry on to say, "runs out," but he didn't. He just said, "when the world's electricity," and then finished with another sentence. I don't know whether they were portraying the end of the sentence by having the thing closed down, but it just seemed a bit odd. It's like they missed a bit out in editing there. So then they came back to the studio and they were saying that the old Top Gear test track is back. Now, to me, that sounded a little bit like, yes, we realised that the track we had last season was a bit crap, so we've gone back to the old format. However, I 100% knew the car they were talking about was the Toyota GT86. When they said that it's quite sporty and it's reasonably fast, not expensive, rear-wheel drive, I thought they can only be talking about the Toyota GT86. And they were. And I think, to be honest, it's a fantastic choice. Fantastic choice. Because it is a reasonably priced car. It's a car that people are probably going to buy in droves. It's a very fantastic, fun car. One actually we're going to be featuring pretty soon on our own channel. And I think they had a great choice there. Fantastic. And the track they used was good. Back to the old track, obviously, with different camera angles, which I think worked very well. Something else I think worked really well was, rather than use the stick, which we didn't see at all, and I wonder whether he's actually going to make a comeback, they had homage to him in the background there, but I wonder if they're actually going to use him. Because when they said they couldn't bring it down because it was a bit too wet for him to take it around the track, whether that was their way of leading into saying, well, actually, we're not bringing Stig back. And that was sort of cemented into place when they chose Chris Harris to take the celebrity round the track. And I thought that was a very good touch, actually. He's actually very sarcastic, isn't he? And quite insulting. But he seems to get away with it all right. Now, as far as the celebrity bit was concerned, I'm not quite sure what to think about that, to be honest. It was different, but having the celebrity there throughout the whole news segment felt a bit odd. Because it seemed to me that he wasn't really involved. And they were sort of forced to ask him questions, and it looked a little bit awkward, and I'm not quite sure what to feel about that. They redeemed themselves later when they took him around the track and he did his lap, and they chatted a little bit about a car, the Mercedes, owned by Eddie Armin. But other than that, I don't know what to think about that segment. What do you think? So on to the film with the 3 cars in Kazakhstan. Now this was pretty funny, all told. I really enjoyed that segment. I like how they had the race head to head rather than just like they would have done in old Top Gear, where they'd have had a time trial because they're a bit worried about health and safety. It seemed they thought, we're in Kazakhstan, health and safety van isn't around, there's no men in fluorescent jackets, so let's do it. And they had a proper race, and I think it worked really well. And I loved how they had the crash. The crash was brilliant, and I'm so glad they kept it in. And then seeing the Volvo at the end with the bonnet smashed and the front wing smashed, absolutely brilliant. Loved that. Really good. And I do have to say, the way that Volvo sounded was brilliant. I used to have a Volvo S80 and I put an induction kit on that, and it sounded like a Subaru Impreza. It sounded fantastic. Better even than the one they had in there, and that sounded awesome. But the tag they did as well I think was good. The little tag race thing with the larders, quite funny. Yeah, I enjoyed that. Enjoyed that very much. Of course, after that is when they came back and did the celebrity track. And this GT86 looks really skittish. I'm actually really looking forward to driving it. Obviously, I'm not going to drive it dangerously, and I'm not going to be doing drifting round roundabouts. But it does look a great fun car to take round the track rather than just a usual Vauxhall Astra that, you know, Granny Drysdale and her grandfather are going to buy. Not that I'm stereotyping that they're owned by grannies. I'm sorry, forget it, just forget it. What I also thought was good is that it's great to see that they're not poking all the sexy girls to the front in the crowd. They're just having normal random people standing in a crowd, which is great. Obviously everybody likes to see a nice big bosomed sexy blonde girl, but you know, it got a bit too obvious when you could see in the old Top Gear there was beautiful people at the front and all the weirdos were stuffed at the back. Now the weirdos are everywhere. I was a little bit confused by this high mileage challenge thing they did, but it worked out quite well in the end, especially because when Rory Reid tried to fill his cab up and knocked it off the stands and it buggered off across the desert, I did have a good laugh. However, at the end of that, I'm not quite sure what to think about Matt LeBlanc's moral, shall we say, at the end of the story, with the sombre moment and the, oh, if next time you think about your car in the driveway, I thought, well, it seemed a bit sort of tacky really and a bit wet. Although the rocket launch looked epic. What a fantastic thing to see. I'd love to see a rocket launch. That would be brilliant. And the way Chris Harris laughs makes me think that some of the things Matt LeBlanc comes out with are just pretty natural. He just says them and they're funny. And that's one thing I do like about Matt LeBlanc. I don't quite like his scripted actor mode, but when he's in the zone just being him, he seems like quite a funny guy. So on the whole, I thought a fantastic start to the new season. Season 24 is off with a bang. I think they've redeemed themselves from the last season, because let's be honest, that was a bit of a flop. It's good to see they don't have all the little hangers-on at the end. They've only got these 3, and I hope they continue with that format. I'm not sorry to see the Steed go, because I think that's run its time. It was okay, fair enough. They took a car around a track and it was fast and that was their thing. But this could be a new direction for them. I like what they're doing. They seem to be making it their own. And I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of the season. So that's it from me. Thank you very much. Thanks for joining me. And I might be back with some more. However, I will be back with some more cars and some more news. And we'll see you again soon. So thank you. And please drive carefully, but have fun. Bye bye.